So we have been organizing, Rath Yatras and so many other things, which are of our devotional interest, not a kind of uh, what we call traditions or something. But this is so universal that Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, introduced uh, the very first festival throughout the world, and which is being conducted in every major city of the world. That is open Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath. Um, Lord Jagannath is very famous deity of Lord Krishna, riding in the chariot along with his brother and sister, Balaram and Subhadra. But this has been a tradition to worship Krishna by enjoying so many festivals. So, International Society for Krishna Consciousness was inaugurated in 1968 and registered in New York for the first time under the order of the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, and to preach in English especially, by which most of our educated people can also be benefited throughout the world. So we have large congregation in major cities of USA, Canada, uh, India was the next, but in Europe also major cities. We have altogether around, just like where there are no temples, but preaching centers, or if not preaching centers, some uh, congregational centers also, totaling altogether about 650, almost even in China, but it is still little underground. We have 12 temples in Pakistan. So you can imagine, because of non-demotion, what we call denominational approach, which is so universal that applies to all the spirited souls. You know, many were Jews who first joined, then Christians, then Muslims also. Majority of the Russian devotees are coming from Muslim background. But our culture has also been spread in this uh, uh, European and American, trek since pretty long. They are exposed to the historical as well as by religion. It was much more, what we call abused by the Britishers and others. That is the history, but it is reviving in those countries which were rather demeaning us. So the intellectual flora of the entire world is appreciating that they were missing the reality simply from believing section. So Srila Prabhupada also thought of the ultimate benefit should go to Indians who have this culture. You know, so Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian movement. It's not any national movement, but it is coming from the uh, what we call on the absolute platform of Lord Shri Krishna, that is to be understood. Bhakti is not a method of worship. Bhakti is at par with Krishna. His holy name is also at par with Krishna. But how to prove? So we have standard Bhagavad Gita, uh, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ishopanishad. These are the cardinal texts that uh, my Guru Maharaj, translated in English and published in millions and millions of copies and distributed. Uh, during the Russian period of what we call uh, uh, Gestapo, what they were calling, where KGB was more prominent, and it was Khrushchev, uh, along with Ronald Reagan in USA. They came up for religious freedom. Otherwise, we had about more than 15 early devotees. They were under concentration camps, along with family, the wife and children too. And they have to suffer quite a bit. In 1986, the transformation came, and we were very much, involved in so much, pushing up this movement. But in Russia, it took up a very, very fast decade because they were deprived. Um, I think that was in 1968, 70. During that late years of 60s, there was a international book fair in Berlin. And we put our Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is there. The headquarters are in Los Angeles. And they published so many books, and translated in German and all other languages of Europe. And we displayed. At that time, some of the Eastern Bloc Russian youngsters were also coming to look into it. And they were so hungry to look into the culture of other countries. Of course, my Guru Maharaj had visited Russia, and the very strict Gestapo type. That time was pretty hard, but Krishna's blessings that he was able to make a dent simply by 3-day visit, and transform the Russian Revolution, into the spiritual revolution. So the Russians are avid readers. So it is not that we simply put forward a belief system. No, it's a practical situation that we try to, give to the humanity at large. And anybody who has a good heart and the consciousness in whatever their denomination and belief system is, it is coming to pretty close to, their understanding, and they pick up, So tenets of Bhagavad Gita can be easily picked up. Because it's universal, and it has not been taught to any Hindu in that sense, because there were no Hinduism during the Vedic period 5,000 years back. It was a word which was being coined by the Muslim invaders, according to the Sindhu River, they were pronouncing it as Hindu. So all historical references, all the biography of the development of the movement, everything has been, researched with references, interviews, and so many. So our devotees have worked very tirelessly to establish this as the most bona fide, religious practice in Vaishnavism. All right. So we have roots in India. At the same time, it is approachable and very authentic way to the Western world through a lot of, evidences. We know we were early devotees during 1975 and 76 in New York. There were court cases against us, but Prabhupada's books did miracle. They proved to be, authentically, approved. The reviews were so much, appreciated by the judge, and he gave a very favorable judgment and established as a bona fide religion. Bona fide means very authoritative. So even a non-believer have put their, faith in it. And therefore, there was a complete transformation during the hippie time. And we have that history, of course, in India, they were looking us with a very rich, resourceful, hippie movement during this Devananda time, and that is our time. I'm already 76-year-old, but we had that, impressions on that, and there were litigations even in India. So anyway, uh, but the time has tested and it has proven, and that even it is appealing to good South Indian from the four state, Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. You know, uh, I'm in Kerala right now, and I'm opening up, a very nice retreat with a preaching center and so much. So I think it will happen in a week's time or so. And construction and everything going clear. But we have a big hope in Thailand, because our community has not been touched. And without Indians, uh, the other devotees will have a complete, what we call, uh, so far unsuccessful, nature. But we do have a good resourcefulness, even in Thailand. We have been trying since 2.5 years, but ultimately Satish Prabhu, and other devotees also became successful in registering. Otherwise it took 2.5 years to register the movement in this particular area, because the government laws are like that. They are restrictive, and we can't work under one umbrella. you know, we have to have, all the branches self-reliant and self-administrative. Of course, we have an oversee, So I was also engaged in a lot of management aspect till 2004. Then, of course, I was traveling, but then now all this uh, becoming custom. I'm just stuck in Corona. I cannot travel right now, but I'm so much aging. As soon as the first opportunity comes, I will start. And the first stop will be Thailand. Okay. So anyway, my name is Vedavyasapriya Swami. I got initiated in 1977. Uh, Only within few months, Srila Prabhupada passed away. So most of my training was under my God brothers, and we still have a good report. And of course, our annual meeting is coming in the month of February, but due to Corona, it will be again through Zoom. But we meet in Mayapur. If you have heard of this particular place, it's birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where the movement started. So it is a historical, and with all reference context, we have um, been given this opportunity to Thailand, and after a long time, we are organizing the Indian preaching aspect. So this particular program uh, is easy for grasthas, the householders raising children. and children can also take part. Those children are going to school, they read, they understand. And from that point also, you will gain so much. So our structured program is like that, that for the first time, I have started introducing myself and the whole, program I introduced. Then uh, you will also introduce yourself, and you have been, just like introducing, but at the same time, somewhat in personal way, we would like to know you more. So as the time goes by, we can come in communication, and we'll be able to, uh, gain each other's, not only association, but so much inquiries are there, and it can go simultaneously. So generally, we do start with um, the prayer, means kirtan. Hare Krishna, then kids know everything, you know. Uh, why only Krishna's kirtan? The reason being, in Kali Yuga, it has been definitely said that in Srimad Bhagavatam it comes that Kalau dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahadgura. And Kali Yuga is the fault of, ocean of faults. Nothing is, working, ocean of faults. In our religious systems also, there are a lot of faults, because the time changes, the traditions changes. Everything is getting affected. And since we are coming to the, other countries, then naturally our children adopt the ways local. So nothing is available into pure, culture. So therefore, it is said that because it's ocean of faults, there is only one good character it is. And through Kirtanad eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Param Prajat. One can get liberated from all confusion and all, things simply by kirtan of Lord Krishna. So we start as soon as we come, take place, then we go through Guru Mantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mantra, who is all merciful, who introduced this Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the Vedic way, and we proceed. So it's 10, 15 minutes, and then we go to japa session. Japa session means our personal meditative aspect, that we vibrate the holy, and on the beats, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It takes another 10, 15 minutes. And then we go and read certain passages which are understandable both to children and the adults alike. And then we ask some pertinent question after some kind of commentary of the moderator especially. And then and the kids will be faster than the parents, let me tell you. That's why I want to involve them. And everybody will have the manual with them. Satish Prabhu.
Srila Gurudev, today I will share from my computer.
Okay, but I'm just trying to give them structure of the program.
Okay.
Right. Then after that, we will have another paragraph or two at the maximum that gives some kind of important foundational understanding from another book. Of course, a paragraph is good enough because it will be, continuing the subject matter, but in a little more elaborate way or understanding that is, and like that, I think 3 paragraphs are there. So then question answers will be there, and you have to look and find answers. I bet your kids will be faster than the parents. All right. So in this way, and if we are personally doing in congregation when Corona, flees, then we actually get together, and then there is a prasadam program too. Unfortunately, that part will not be done. So that is the structure, and it takes hardly 1 hour, 15 minutes or so. Prasadam may take a little longer. It takes the most time, but we will not. So like that. I'm a traveling sannyasi, and I try to reach out, the entire, globe, where so many devotees expect, they're waiting in that sense, and I give regular visits. So far, as long as my body, goes, I will go. So anyway, let's begin to introduce. I will start from Suyagya Prabhu is Satish. Satish's initiated name is Suyagya. Su means very auspicious. Yagya means sacrifice. Generally, there is only one sacrifice to be done in this Kali Yuga, and that is called Sankirtan Yagya. Sankirtan Yagya is Suyagya, because we are giving valuable time to serve the holy name, and the holy name is the source of all the spiritual potencies, and that we have to realize. So therefore, this is strictly a spiritual program, which is given in our historical and not only geographical, but historical nature with reference to context. Wherever we are reading a passage, it will be published, it will be authenticated. So there are references to the scriptures. And this is how we want to throw in the seeds in a young mind to understand the real versus fake. All right? So they become intelligent. We want you to become intelligent, not mental, when it comes to religion. Okay? Intelligent.